Welcome to Dr. Mary Travelbest's Independent Travel Guide. This is an episode for women like you who need a little extra support traveling the world, one woman at a time. I've been traveling independently since 1972, and soon I'll release a second guidebook on the steps to solo adventures. Please share this podcast with your parents, loved ones, and future travelers so you can make their trips the very best. In this episode, the FAQ is, how can I find a good paid tour guide? Most cities have their own tour guides, and they're going to help me find my way around, right? Now, today's destination is Scottsdale, Arizona. Today's mistake, losing a sweatshirt on a plane. And travel advice, you can be location independent. So now the FAQ, or frequently asked question. How can I find a good paid tour guide where I am going to? So there's lots of organizations that arrange for travel in just about any major city, and you can find them online. I'm going to give you a list now, and you can also find them in the show notes. One is Context Travel. It's in over 60 cities and 6 continents worldwide. And toursbylocals.com and Viator.com. You might have heard of them, as well as tripadvisor.com. Now, here's a few others you may not have heard of: withlocals.com, vibeadventures.com, estigotours.com, gowithguide.com. And if you want to become a tour guide in a city or region, I know that International Tour Management Institute, ITMI, provides training and membership, and they'll help if you ask. I know them directly, so you can ask Amy all about it. Today's destination is Scottsdale, Arizona. Scottsdale, a desert city in Arizona, known for spa resorts, golf courses, and spring training for baseball. You can do a lot here. It's got McDowell Sonoran Preserve, a desertscape of hills, rocks, and plenty of cacti. You should visit Taliesin West if you like architecture, as this is the former home of Frank Lloyd Wright. I was recently in the Wisconsin version of his home, so you can compare if you've been to both. Downtown has an old town region with 1920s type buildings and even some older 19th century olive trees. Now, Scottsdale has got one of the highest costs of living cities in the Southwest. And for its size of 250,000, it's got a lot of wealthy residents. It's also spread out, especially from north to south, so it can take a longer time to get from one side of the city to another. Plan your travel according to the traffic. Public transportation is available, but not used that much, so renting a car would be suggested for a busy solo traveler. Just south of the city proper is the Desert Botanical Gardens. I highly recommend this. If you have some outdoor time, go early in the morning if possible, before the heat of the day. Many of the residents leave in July and August for the beaches of California, especially San Diego. And I've been the host to many families in a beach rental. So Chicago goes here for the winter. You've got baseball, spring training. The San Francisco Giants in 2022 will play 30 games in February and March, and other spring training teams are nearby also. Now, I have a friend named Dee Dee Madonia. Here's what she said about Scottsdale. Hi, Mary. I love the serene desert. Our sunsets are gorgeous. There are many things I love about Scottsdale. Mostly, it looks like my culture home of Sicily without the sea. We are the only state in the USA that has saguaro cactus, and there are many other reasons Scottsdale is beautiful. Thanks, Dee Dee. And now for today's mistake, losing a sweatshirt on a plane. Almost. Did you ever remove a garment and then leave it in your airplane seat? I did. I borrowed a sweatshirt from my daughter and left it on the plane. About 30 minutes later, I realized that it had been left, so I returned to the gate and talked nicely to the agent. She was understanding and mentioned that it was already cleaned out and no items were returned that she knew of. However, she offered to go and look once the doors opened again. Well, about 20 minutes later, the doors opened and she walked down the hallway and found the sweatshirt hanging on a hook, waiting for me. What a delight to get it back, especially that it was not mine, it was borrowed. And now for today's travel advice. You can be location independent. I have some friends who travel full time. They're digital nomads. They are travel hackers who know how to redeem their points and miles while pursuing a life of travel and working along the way. Some live in hotels, others live in vans or Airbnbs. Being location independent has a lot of pluses, but before you do it, you should be aware of the drawbacks too. We'll talk more about that in my upcoming book. I want to bring meaning to your travels, so send me your travel tip or question. You can send it to any of my social media, and maybe you'll see your tips in Women Travel, 5 Steps to Solo Adventure.
What's on your travel bucket list? Tell the doctor and her team of women who travel the world seeking the very best. Dr. Travelbest, that is.